Hello, welcome to the Lumos Learning Video Sampler for Grade 7. My name is Luis Anthony Ast. I am a professional mathematics tutor, and I'm here to show you how easy math can be. I will be going over select questions from the diagnostic test that is provided online and in print form. When each question is presented in the video, I want you to pause it right after the choices of A, B, C, and D are listed. Try to answer the question and then press play to see the correct answer and my explanation. Now, let's get started. Danny rolls 2 number cubes, dice, one red and one blue. What is the probability that she will roll a 2 on the red cube and a 6 on the blue cube? Before I answer this question, let me quickly remind you how to compute a probability. It's simply the number of ways of getting what we want divided by total number of possible outcomes. Or the way I like to abbreviate it, want over total. So Danny wants to roll a 2 on the red cube. So how many ways are there to get 2? Well, there's just one way. There's 2. Out of how many possible outcomes? Well, there are 6 ways of getting any number on this red cube. What about getting a 6 on the blue cube? Well, there's just one way out of 6 possible outcomes. So, probability of rolling a 2 on the red cube is just 1 out of the 6. Probability of rolling a 6 on the blue cube is 1 out of 6. And in mathematics is the same as just multiplying. So 1 6 times 1 6 is choice D, 1/36. Find the next 3 numbers in this sequence: 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6, 7.5. The answer is going to be A. To see that, look carefully at the sequence, and hopefully you've noticed that to get the next number, you just add 1.5. So you're just going to go plus 1.5, you're going to get 3. Plus 1.5, you're going to get 4.5. Plus 1.5, you're going to get 6. Plus 1.5, you're going to get 7.5. If you continue the sequence, you're going to get 9, 10.5, and 12. Ralph went to bed at 10:15 p.m. and woke up at 7:15 a.m. How many minutes of sleep did Ralph have? The answer is D, 540. To see that, let's take a look at a clock. Ralph went to bed at 10:15 p.m. He wakes up at 7:15 a.m. Well, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's move this over here. So 9 hours have passed. That's the elapsed time. I need to be careful. Some students think about the 9 and go, hey, I see that right here. This must be the answer. Careful. They ask how many minutes of sleep. So we now need to convert the hours into minutes by multiplying by 60. And 9 times 60 is 540. 20 plus x plus 42 equals 99. Solve for x. x is going to equal 37, which is choice B. To see that, let's go ahead and solve this equation. The first step is to combine like terms. I need to add the 20 with the 42. You're going to get x plus 62 equals 99. To continue getting x by itself, to isolate it, move 62 to the other side. How? By doing the opposite operation that you see here. This is a plus, so you're going to subtract. Minus 62 minus 62. Now that cancels. So x is equal to 37. Estimate the square root of 86. Before I give you the answer, I want to take a moment to analyze the situation here. You want to estimate the square root of 86. Think of a perfect square that's very close in size to 86. How about 81? That's close to 86. It's a perfect square. Its square root is 9. So if the square root of 81 is 9, the square root of 86 needs to be a number that's very close to 9 because 86 is very close to 81. And since 86 is slightly larger than 81, this result should be slightly larger than 9. So now looking at our choices here, B has a value that's slightly larger than 9, so that must be the answer. Simplify the following expression: 4 times the quantity x plus 3 plus the quantity 7 minus 4. Let's go ahead and simplify the expression to see that the answer really is 4x plus 15, which is answer C. The first step is to perform any operations within grouping symbols. Well, over here, I really cannot do anything with the x plus 3 just yet. Here, oh yeah, I can subtract those. So I'm going to get 4 times the quantity x plus 3 plus 7 minus 4 is 3. Now, to take care of this, you need to apply the distributive law. So you're going to go 4 times x and then 4 times 3. 4 times x is 4x. Positive and a positive is a positive. 4 times 3 is 12. And then this just stays. Now, combine like terms. 4x plus 12 plus 3 is 15, which is right there. 67 grams equals blank milligrams. The conversion is going to equal answer A, 67,000 milligrams. To get that, I first need a conversion equation. And it's something that relates the units of grams with milligrams. Well, 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. To continue the conversion, I write down what I started off with, 67 grams, and I put that over 1, make it a fraction, times. Now, I make a fraction with this equation. I go 1 gram divided by 1,000 milligrams, or I go 1,000 milligrams divided by 1 gram. It depends. I want to cancel grams because I want to end up with milligrams. So if grams are in the numerator, I want grams in the denominator. So I want this one in the denominator. 1 gram denominator. This is going to be on top. See, this way, grams cancel. So now you just go ahead and multiply 67 times 1,000 is 67,000 milligrams.
Evaluate if A equals 4, B equals 6, C equals -3. 5A times B divided by C.
The answer is C, -40. Let's see why. To evaluate this, I'm going to create what I like to call a template. I write down this expression over again, but in place of every variable, I'm going to put a set of parentheses. And inside the parentheses, I put in the values. A is equal to 4, so I put 4 right there. B is 6, there's the 6. C is -3, there's my -3. Notice we have multiplications and divisions. So the order of operation is that we just go from left to right. I want you to notice something. Everything's positive except for one negative, which means the result has to be negative. Why do I think about that? Well, looking at the choices, only 2 of them have negative values. So if you had to take a guess, you could eliminate A and B. But let's continue evaluating this. Going from left to right, 5 times 4 is 20 times 6 divided by -3. 20 times 6 is 120 divided by -3. And 120 divided by -3 is -40.
A tabletop is in the shape of a rhombus. If the perimeter of a tabletop is 448 centimeters, what is the length of one side of the table?
The answer is A, 112 centimeters. To get that, you need to realize that all the sides of a rhombus have the same length. So if the perimeter, the measurement of all the sides, has a measurement of 448 centimeters, all you need to do is divide this by 4, and you get 112 centimeters.
Joel rolls 2 dice at the same time. What is the probability that he will roll a sum of 11?
The answer is B, 1/18. But I hope you had a chance to realize that C and D are actually the same value. I can reduce this fraction to get 1/6. Now, on a multiple choice test, if 2 answers are the same, they cannot be the answer. So you can actually eliminate 2 of your choices. Now, how do we actually compute the probability of a sum of 11? Well, you need to figure out the total number of ways of getting what we want, and then you divide by the total number of outcomes. So how many ways do we get a sum of 11? Well, one way is 5 plus 6. That gives us 11. Any other ways? 6 plus 5. That's also 11. And that's it. So there's only 2 ways of getting what we want. What about the total number of outcomes? Well, there's 6 ways and 6 for the other. 6 and 6 you multiply. So I get 2 over 36, which will reduce to 1/18. That was the last problem for this video. Don't worry, if you visit lumostestprep.com, you can find hundreds of additional ones.